ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Monday, December 9th. The Drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Glad to be back with you. Did I miss anything while I was gone? We'll catch up together now. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Wow. What a week, right? I don't know if you were with us on Saturday. We did the post-game show for, the Sunbelt champion, Thundering Herd. We went until about 1:30 in the morning, and for those of you that weren't up late with us, we had a lot of people talking about Coach Huff and hoping that he would stay and wishing that he would be able to continue to be the head coach of the Thundering Herd. And we kind of felt that, okay, we're going to find something out. It's Sunday. We're going to find something out. And boy, did we find something out. Now, the rumors that Coach Huff was going to Southern Miss, true. The rumors that Tony Gibson was going to be the head coach of the Thundering Herd, true. And then the transfer portal opened up, and there's a lot of players, and we'll try to keep track of all of them, but there are a lot of players that are no longer going to be on the Thundering Herd roster entering the transfer portal. And so we're going to have the introductory press conferences. I think they're going to do Coach Huff's at 1 o'clock on Thursday. So if you're interested, you'll probably hear a little bit of what he has to say. And then there's going to be the Marshall one at 4:30 on Thursday as well to introduce Coach Gibson. So we'll be there. My plan is that we're going to carry that live. So if you're not able to attend, we're going to have that, and then I'll have some follow-up. We're working out the details now, what we're going to do, but I'm looking forward to meeting Coach Gibson and officially getting this era of Marshall football started. So we're going to hear from you now. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Also, we're going to hear a little bit later on. Now, the big question was, who's going to coach the bowl game? Coach Lockett's going to coach the bowl game. So we've got his comments. He was on a Zoom call earlier today, so we've got his comments, sort of a snapshot of what the university and what the athletic department and what the football team are doing at this moment. It's a quick snapshot, but we're going to hear from him. And then a little bit later on, we're going to hear from Marshall men's basketball coach Cornelius Jackson as the Thundering Herd getting ready for the road midweek game and then back home on Saturday to take on those dastardly Bobcats out of Athens. So we'll have all of that for you and more. It was a tough weekend, and in some regards, we had obviously the jubilation of winning the championship, first time in 10 years for the Thundering Herd, and then Huntington High, unfortunately, a 2-point conversion away from victory or defeat, and unfortunately it was defeat. So a good run for the Huntington Highlanders, falling short for a bid to the state championship. The men, obviously, UNCW taking on a tough team, so Marshall falls on Saturday there. But we also got some good news this weekend as well, and after a day delay, Marshall beat SMU in soccer 3-2. So the Thundering Herd playing for championships again. The NCAA Soccer Cup in Cary, North Carolina. That is going to be where the Herd can be found. Marshall will face top-seeded Ohio State on Friday at 7:30. So congratulations to Chris Grassi and his squad getting the Herd back to what is basically the Final Four of soccer. The Cary, North Carolina community should brace for impact. I am sure a lot of Herd fans will be making that trip to go see the Herd compete against Ohio State. I'm sure it'll be hopefully a good crowd for the entire tournament. Marshall, Ohio State, I know there are a lot of people that have ties to both in some way, either attended Marshall, graduate school, Ohio State. I know a couple people personally, so there will be a couple house divideds in that one, but for the most part, this should be a fun weekend for soccer. And of course, we're going to try to figure it all out this week and next, as Marshall will introduce a new football coach. Now, we'll get your text in. Don't forget, we're going to do that. And you can also find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. Been busy there today and yesterday, and the bowl bid came out yesterday. It was busy. My phone battery definitely didn't appreciate me, but we got the Coach Huff statement, going to have a new coach, and then we got the new coach statement. Then we got the bowl bid. Herd's taking on Army, by the way, Thundering Herd, and one of the more traditional bowl games, taking on an Army team. That was a good matchup on paper, right? I mean, you look at that matchup and you go, oh, man, Marshall, Army, you got a couple of conference champions going at it, and then the transfer portal happened. And now I've seen a lot of feedback and people questioning, hey, I don't know if I'm excited for this now. I don't know if this is really something I want to go see. Marshall, do we have a team left? I heard a lot of that. I've had a lot of people privately say, Paul, are we going to have a team? Will there be enough players to play? I think we're still waiting to see what the roster is going to look like. But the good news is, for a lot of Herd fans, Mike Green is going to be playing in the game. He released something on Twitter earlier, like, hey, I'm coming. I'm going to be at the bowl. And what a game it's going to be. Originally, at least. We'll see what it looks like now. But Marshall, number 19 Army, Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's going to be on December 28th. So we'll go on the air about 6 o'clock that day with our pregame coverage. And then Telly Lockett's going to be the interim head coach. We're going to hear from him in a few minutes, and then we're going to get your feedback on that. Are you going to the game? That's probably the first question I want to ask folks today is, are you going? Is that a game? Because I've seen a little bit of grumbling out there. So I want to take a temperature right now of where Herd fans are. So how are you on the fact that Coach Huff left to go to Southern Miss, not a division rival, but an old rival from the conference days, Conference USA, and it's a league school. You're going from one Sun Belt school to another. How do you feel about that? And then, of course, former NC State defensive coordinator, now the new head coach of the Thundering Herd, Tony Gibson, named as the head coach from Van, West Virginia. So you bring a West Virginia native back to lead the Thundering Herd. So he's coming home. And then, of course, you get the bowl bid. All of that happening on Sunday. So a lot going on. So we'll get your temperature on that. The text line again, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go to a few of your texts now. First up, texter said, Paul, welcome, Tony. Huff wasn't my favorite. I know a lot of players are leaving, but I can't wait to see the team next year. And any word on if he is bringing other coaches with him or will keep the current staff? We don't have a full idea of what that will look like just yet. We don't even know who's going to be available for the bowl game. We've got Coach Lockett's comments, and I'll let him explain that. We'll get his direct quote on some of that here when we continue. But it seems like there are still conversations being had. How many people will be leaving with Coach Huff to go to Southern Miss? How many people will be staying, retained by university? And, of course, when you bring in a new coach, he's going to want to bring his own staff in as well. So how many people will stay? How many people will not be invited back? How many people will just want to leave because they're following Coach Huff or they want to look for other opportunities? That's going to be, I think, the next question or round of questions we're going to be asked and answering here over the next few days. This one from the text line. Paul, I think it's terrible we lost Huff to the worst team in the Sun Belt Conference. And we signed Gibson to a 6-year deal, but time will tell. Go Herd. They're all in. Maybe that was the deal. Like, okay, to make this work for me, I need 6 years. I want a 6-year deal. This is what I want. It will be interesting to see how Herd fans take to Coach Gibson. Some are on board with this. I've seen some that are not happy with this right now. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. A lot of people wanted Coach Huff back. A lot of people didn't want Coach Huff back. There were a lot of people who didn't want Coach Huff back after Marshall lost to Georgia Southern. And that wasn't the first time as well. So there's been a lot of grumbling over the course of his career. And I talked about this earlier. I was on Dave Wilson's show. He was filling in today on Talk Line. So I was with him for a few minutes. And I brought this up. I think that's fair to say. His name has been linked to other jobs for almost the entirety of his stay at Marshall University. I mean, I knew early on he was linked to a possible interview with Duke. His name came up with Duke. And so, there's Virginia Tech as well. And there have been a couple other schools. So it's been out there for several years that he was linked to possibly interviewing, possibly being a candidate for this job or another job. So there was a desire, obviously, to see what the options were. And I get that. You have an agent, and the agent's job is to get you the best possible deal. And if that means looking at a different opportunity, it's going to happen these days. But then you bring a guy in like Tony Gibson, and I don't know if he's going to be someone. I mean, he's coming home. I don't know if he's going to be someone who's going to be putting it out there that, okay, I'm using this as a stepping stone. I mean, Doc Holliday, for everything you liked about him and you didn't like about him, and he was divisive as well for a lot of you. Doc wasn't looking to go out and find the next job. He was happy, and I don't think it made him complacent, but I think he was happy as the head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd. He really took that to heart. I'm the head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd. And so maybe you get that now with Coach Gibson. He's going to be the head coach of the Thundering Herd. And how badly does he want to be here? And how badly does he want to stay? I think those are some questions that will be answered over time. But you're going to get a different vibe, I'm sure, from him. He's a West Virginia native coming home. Gets an opportunity to be closer to home. There's going to be a lot of connections automatically with him coming back home. And I'm sure that's going to be brought up a lot. He's coming home. He's a West Virginia native. And I don't think necessarily that's a qualification for the job. But at the same time, you have someone who this might not be their stepping stone job. This might be their job that they were striving for. Hey, I'm the coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd. I'm home in West Virginia. Let's go. Let's make this the best place possible. More from the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, I'm guessing that most fans are concerned about offense with a defensive coordinator being named head coach. This season was really the first exciting year in a long while. And I agree with that. Appreciate the text. I think what happened was you finally got the right people in. It's going to come down to how many people can you bring in that will make this go and how many people that you keep. Can you get the right balance? Do you want to bring all your own people in? Do you want to retain some people? You got to make this team your own. Whatever happens, this team has got to be your own. You have to bring in your people, no one else's people, your people, the people that you want to work with, the people you trust, the people that make you better in areas that you are not as strong. You have to do that. There needs to be zero outside influence. He's got to come in and be the head coach. You're going to be the head coach now. You're in charge. Make this team your own. Whatever happens, happens. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Back to our text line, and we got plenty. We're going to get to them all. Texter says, Paul, I am disappointed at the loss of Coach Huff. Disgusted with the hiring of Coach Gibson. Is that the best we could do? Christian Spears should be drug tested. I will be rethinking my Big Green membership. Appreciate the text. We're going to find out on Thursday what the process was and why Coach Gibson was the right fit for this athletic department. Honestly, it's not the first time a coordinator has been hired as a head coach. It's not the first time. And so you bring in a coordinator. I think his credentials are fine. And we don't know what he's going to be as a head coach. He's the coach now, so you're going to have to give him a shot. That's, I think, the best way to approach this. Listen to him on Thursday, see how he runs the program, and we'll go from there. Because it's not his fault. None of this is his fault. Whatever happened with the athletic department and Coach Huff, negotiations or lack of negotiations, or Coach Huff just didn't want to be here, or Coach Huff wanted to take a better opportunity, whatever. Coach Gibson's the guy that was tapped on the shoulder to come in and be the next coach. So I think you got to give him the benefit of the doubt and hopefully from the ground running be behind him now as the head coach. We got more from the text line coming up. We're also going to hear from Coach Lockett. We'll get his initial thoughts on the matchup. and give you an update on what's happening with the Thundering Herd at this moment when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Merry Christmas from Thoroughbred Express Car Wash. Looking for the perfect holiday gift? Give the gift of a clean, shiny car with a Thoroughbred Express gift card. It's the gift card that keeps on giving, keeping the ride fresh and spotless all year long. And don't miss out on our 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. Starting December 13th, we're giving away amazing prizes every day. Visit our Facebook page and join the holiday fun. Drive clean this Christmas with Thoroughbred Express Car Wash. Online at thoroughbredexpress.com. Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. Scraggle Pop kettle corn has become a favorite snack throughout the Tri-State area, and they are now expanding beyond. This Christmas season, come visit Scraggle Pop at the Huntington Mall, the Ashland Town Center, Food Fair, and a number of great Tri-State retailers. They have an assortment of delicious flavors like cinnamon, caramel, Chicago blend, and of course the original blend of kettle corn that started it all. Grab your favorite kettle corn blend along with a frozen sweet tea, lemonade, or hot apple cider. Take home a beautiful Christmas tin for yourself or as a gift for family and friends. Scraggle Pop also offers many sports team tins for the sports fan in your life. So check them out today at the Huntington Mall or the Ashland Town Center. Scraggle Pop now ships nationwide. Visit their website at scragglepop.com to send your loved ones a tin of their favorite flavor. You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. ScragglePopKettlecorn.com.
Welcome to Staples, young man.
Tomorrow's my big day.
Big day?
First grade.
Aw, well, Staples has crayons, markers, glue.
I need a laptop.
Oh, yeah, sure. With Staples Hot Deals, you can save up to $300 on select PCs for school.
Wait. The finances are Mom's department.
Right.
I'm looking for performance, like a Core i7 processor.
Boy, first grade has really changed.
Tell me about it.
Save big on tech for school with super low Staples Hot Deals. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Ends 8/24.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Wow, life moves fast. Welcome back to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. As we were going to the break, we have more transfer portal news. I'll go to the text line first. A couple of you just texted in. First one, Paul, have 3 quarterbacks transferred? I know Braxton and Earl, but I just saw Pennington also from the text line. Cole Pennington just entered the portal, so who will be our quarterback in the bowl game since quarterbacks 1, 2, and 3 are gone? Keep your texts coming, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'll tell you what, this quote from Coach Lockett, not exactly correct now, but earlier today we talked to him. It was a pre-bowl Zoom. Got a chance to kind of talk to him about the situation at hand. And one of the questions that was asked of him was the quarterback situation. I don't think this answers anybody's questions after what we just found out about Cole Pennington, but this was the answer earlier today about the quarterback situation. For those of you asking what is going to happen?
Well, obviously, we don't know right now. Obviously, Cole is available. Parachek is also available. We have a number of guys that are available, but we don't know if the starter is out. But we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll make a decision on that one way or the other.
So you heard Parachek's name. So according to social media and according to personal accounts, Braylon Braxton is in the portal. Stone Earl making his intentions known. Cole Pennington on social media making his intentions known. Jaden Yates put himself in the situation where he was leaving. Yates leaving? That's a legacy right there. You just lost a legacy. And then you have Pennington. He was a legacy. A lot of you were rooting for Pennington. Continuation of those great years with Chad Pennington and Cole Pennington putting himself in the portal. So that right there in itself is putting this team in a tough situation. Matchup against a top 25 team in Army. And Army doesn't have a transfer portal. Those cadets are not going anywhere. Absolutely not. And so this is going to be a tough challenge for Marshall going into this game. You lose your head coach, and you also, at the same time, lose quarterback 1, 2, and 3. So I'm sure that this is going to be a very – there's a lot of drama going on right now, just to be honest with you. A lot of drama going on in this one. Let's go back to the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texture says, Paul, Tony Gibson is a great hire. I miss Coach Huff. He was a hoot, but he flew south. That's a good way to put it. Also from the text line, as far as Huff going to Southern Miss to Marshall, it's not much different than he was out of conference. The good thing about is that the Sun Belt would be better off with a good Southern Miss program. I agree with that. I like Southern Miss. I think Southern Miss is one of those programs that if that program is doing well, it elevates the league. It's a good situation, very, very rich tradition, very proud. I think that's a program that you can lean on in good times. Also, Texture says, Paul, I just read online that there was an issue with Coach Huff's buyout option and that he bet on himself and just finished his contract out. The handwriting seemed to be on the wall. Well, if you recall, if you didn't read it yesterday, or if you did, the statement was from Christian Spears after the announcement that he appreciated the transparency of Coach Huff's people in the situation. So whatever the contract situations were or whatever the clauses were, I think that if you're going to have a transition, you do it as soon as possible because you have the transfer portal now that has completely thrown a monkey wrench into everything. The transfer portal has allowed not just Marshall, but other teams to go out and recruit. At the same time, you're losing players. You lost your starting quarterback, your backup quarterback. I don't want to call him third stringer, but your third string quarterback just put himself in the portal, according to reports and his social media account. And so the transfer portal has kind of sped this up now. You got to go get that coach quick. So if there's going to be a move, you got to work quickly to make sure those moves happen. Not only if you're losing a coach, you're losing a coach, but also you got to bring someone in. And the bowl games, as much as we like watching bowl games, they have become inconsequential. The playoffs are consequential. The bowl games are not necessarily consequential right now. Also from the text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Looks like, according to some folks on social media, just pointing out some more of the there's some disgruntled happenings going on with some of the players. Definitely worth looking into there. Let's see what else we got from the text line. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. A couple of people just disappointed that Marshall lost a legacy in Yates and now Pennington. And, of course, we'll keep an eye on all of this. As student-athletes put this stuff on social media, we'll go by that. And we'll find out more what this roster is going to look like for the Thundering Herd. And seriously, I've been asked a lot of questions, from people today. Is this going to be possible? Is there going to be enough people to go and compete in this bowl game? And I asked Coach Lockett earlier about honestly, this is an opportunity here for players that maybe wouldn't get this opportunity to go out and play. And this, again, in context, this was hours ago before we started finding out even more players were leaving. And so I'll leave you with this one first before we hit the break. He talked about first the morale of the morale of the team, and then the players that will get the opportunity to play first. And again, earlier today, Coach said the morale of the team was fine.
The morale is pretty good. We had a team meeting yesterday with the kids. The kids was still upbeat. Obviously, it's an emotional ride. We won the Sun Belt. It's been a grind for 4 years, obviously under Coach Huff. The kids seem upbeat and ready to go. So obviously they got finals this week. So we'll figure out who's available, and we'll put a good product out there.
And that was obviously before more names came out that will be entering the transfer portal. But to my point, there will be some opportunities out there for younger players. I just don't know how positive I feel about this now. If you're putting out, if you got kids that are going out there and playing, giving it all, yeah, you support them, but you're losing more of your key roster minute by minute now for the transfer portal. But there will be some opportunities.
Correct. Yeah, and we have a lot of young guys that wants this opportunity to get out there and play and show what they can do. We just got to make sure we have the numbers to allow those kids to go out and play and be in a safe environment.
And I'm with you there, Coach. You got to have the numbers to play in a safe environment. We don't know what the total number is going to be. A lot of kids might be making their decision. Like, hey, do I really want to be here now? I'm sure a guy like Mike Green, who's already made his decision, hey, I want to be here. You know, is he the next Vinny Curry in your mind? That Mr. Marshall, you know, he is ride or die with Marshall. Logan Osborne, yeah, a ride or die type of guy. Are you going to have more of those type of players stand up, or are you going to have a lot of players that say, look, I love it here, but you know, we aren't the same team. And Coach Huff alluded to that. He said it all along. We alluded to that. Hey, this is before Marshall had qualified for the championship game. JMU, this is going to be the last opportunity. This is it for these players. This is going to be the last time that this group is going to be together. And then you had the championship game, and this is going to be it. This is going to be the last time that this group is going to be together. And now his words ring true. This is the last time. This was the last time that this group was going to be together. So it's an interesting situation. More coming up. Let's get your text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I got a couple more from Coach Lockett I want to share with you. We'll hear from Coach Jackson as well, as basketball getting ready for a midweek contest. And then we've got Saturday, of course. Those dastardly Ohio Bobcats are coming into the Henderson Center. More coming up on this edition of The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
A Cold Cat's Christmas. Purchase season tickets now and receive a limited edition Scratch the Cold Cat bobblehead free. Season tickets, a perfect Christmas gift. Available now online at coldcats.net. That's coldcats.net. Prices start at $175. This season features a July 4th weekend fireworks display, a visit from the WWE's Hall of Famer Sergeant Slaughter, plus an appearance of baseball and CK native Donnie Robinson. Purchase your season tickets now at Colcats.net and have a Merry Christmas for your friends at the Tri-State Colcats as we get ready for summer.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Ow! Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door,
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Marshall Orthopedics, the Tri-State's leader for orthopedic care. MarshallHealth.org/orthopedics. Mount West Community and Technical College. Go far, close to home with Mount West Community and Technical College in Huntington. Online at mctc.edu. Lulu's, the Tri-State's premier smoke shop.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today. So it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Monday edition. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. There's a lot happening as we speak. Just a few minutes ago, we saw on social media that Cole Pennington said in a statement, thankful for the opportunity to be a student athlete at Marshall for the past 3 years. After much prayer and consideration, I'll be entering the transfer portal with 2 years of eligibility remaining. There's a lot going on right now in the transfer portal, and we'll keep on top of that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Back to the text line. Texter says, Paul, we really need transparency. Who is to blame, Huff or the athletic department? This is a good time for you to have Spears on like Hamrick used to do and open the phone line, not just the text. If I can get someone in here to help me out. I'm running solo right now. For some of you kind of wonder why I just don't take rapid phone calls is because, I run the show solo, and to make sure that we do it right, and then I can screen calls and get folks on and do it in transition properly. We want to sound as good as we possibly can. We just don't want to crack the phone line open and go, here, who are you? And here you go. But we'll try to get some folks in here to help us out here if we want to start getting some phone calls in here. Hey, love to do that again, but it's kind of difficult sometimes, so I do appreciate everyone who does check in on the text line. It helps me out. But if we can get some folks in here maybe for a little while, we'll get those phone lines going. And again, our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. But I'm running the show solo, and so to take phone calls, I have to either do it blind, and it sometimes could be someone trying to sell me something, a telemarketer, who knows. Back to our text line. I'm going to have to get a staff on this. Maybe we'll get an intern for this one. Can someone, texter asks, can someone name me one Marshall athlete in any sport that found success after transferring out? I'm sure there's a few. Got to get some researchers on that. Also from the text line, Paul, what's the stats on teams that win conference championships and lose their coach? If there's not a website keeping track of that, there should be. That's absolutely a stat that I think we need to research. To illustrate your point there, I get what we're saying here. Marshall wins the Sun Belt Conference Championship, and then the coach is on his way to a Sun Belt rival the next day. Also from the text line, I love this one. Southern Miss games should be fun, Paul. Absolutely they should be fun. You think Southern Miss is going to be now, I don't know how much is going to carry over in basketball compared to football, but basketball, when Marshall and UCF played, it didn't matter. That was you want to get those guys, right? Absolutely. Basketball was really tough. Football was interesting. So we might have our rivalry game absolutely after all. Texture says, Paul, remember the girl that went to Middle Tennessee did good after the portal. That is true. Texture says, Paul, hello. Army had an outstanding season. Do you think they're getting a bad deal with the bowl now? Well, anytime you have a top 25 finish and you were in the conversation, but you didn't get into the new college football playoff, you probably feel like, okay, we're kind of getting a raw deal here. I mean, on paper, you were matching up the Sun Belt Conference champion versus the American champion, and now you're getting a team that is not representative of the Sun Belt Conference as a champion versus a team that does not have a transfer portal, probably a little annoyed. They, of course, have got Navy a few days from now, and then they'll fully focus on the Thundering Herd. But this isn't becoming this isn't a must-see event right now, to be quite candid. And I am sorry, and I hate to say that and hate to feel this way, but Marshall is going in as a shell of a team, losing your top 3 quarterbacks and a host of other players. And you're going into a game with Army that's probably a little annoyed right now with the Independence Bowl. I'm sure there are some who are happy, but if you look at the situation, they're not getting the Marshall team that just won the Sun Belt Conference Championship. This is not that team. It doesn't exist anymore. So anytime you get to go to a bowl, it's a good time. I hope that the players that go to the bowl game enjoy it, have a good time, enjoy the experience. Hopefully, as Coach Lockett said earlier, they've got the numbers to go to this thing. We don't even know who's going to be on the staff for this thing. He addressed that earlier as well. And we don't know who's going to be around. Will there be the majority of the coaching staff involved in this situation? What's that going to look like?
Obviously, it's up in the air right now. Obviously, we did not talk further than yesterday, but obviously we have coaches meeting up here, and we'll find out who's available and who's not available.
So we don't know yet. We don't know what the staff's going to look like, and we don't even know what Coach Lockett's future is going to be. He addressed that earlier as well.
Well, I haven't made a decision. Obviously, my family is here, so we'll have to make a decision, and obviously it's all about family, and we'll make a decision. I know Coach Gibson. He's a great guy. Know him from past history. He's come recruit the Miami area. So we know each other very well.
Hopefully there's a good relationship there. Again, new coach comes in, you make the evaluation, you retain a couple of people, but at the same time, you probably want to bring your own people in. And to be fair and to be honest, if most of the coaching staff isn't here next year, I understand it. Don't necessarily like to see coaches looking for jobs, but at the same time, you get a new coach coming in, wants to make the team his own, you bring in your people. Maybe you retain a few folks. Maybe you retain half. Who knows what the transition is going to look like? So there's a lot of questions to be answered here. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, when Coach Donnan went to Georgia, he took players with him. I don't remember off the top of my head who you're thinking of right now. Also, a shout out to our our producers for our post-game and pre-game shows, Lenny Sundal and Gabriel Sellers. You had to look that up. You don't know how to spell Lenny Sundal's name, so you've had to look that up. Absolutely. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I appreciate it, though. Hey, we got a 4-pack of tickets I'm going to give one of you today to the Marshall game. I haven't forgot about that. We'll hear a little bit from Coach Jackson when we continue. I'll give you an opportunity. I'm just going to pick one of you randomly, so stay by your phones after the show. Absolutely going to make some of you winners this week. But when we continue, we'll talk more football. We'll hear a little bit from Coach Jackson. What a busy, weird day we're having here on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, Adult Family Care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an Adult Family Care Home Finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. Scraggle Pop kettle corn has become a favorite snack throughout the tri-state area, and they are now expanding beyond. This Christmas season, come visit Scraggle Pop at the Huntington Mall, the Ashland Town Center, Food Fair, and a number of great tri-state retailers. They have an assortment of delicious flavors like cinnamon, caramel, Chicago blend, and of course the original blend of kettle corn that started it all. Grab your favorite kettle corn blend along with a frozen sweet tea, lemonade, or hot apple cider. Take home a beautiful Christmas tin for yourself or as a gift for family and friends. Scraggle Pop also offers many sports team tins for the sports fan in your life, so check them out today at the Huntington Mall or the Ashland Town Center. Scraggle Pop now ships nationwide. Visit their website at scragglepop.com to send your loved ones a tin of their favorite flavor. You just can't stop once you've tried Scraggle Pop. ScragglePopKettlecorn.com.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Final segment, today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We have got the best listeners. We just got the best listeners. Had a texter ask earlier, do you remember who Coach Donnan took with him? And I had to think about it for a second. You asked me too quickly, but you guys were spot on. Orlandis Gary and Jermaine Wiggins. They went with Coach Donnan to Georgia. So good on all of you for remembering that. And one of you's winning a ticket today to go see the Herd on Saturday. So one of you's winning tickets. So everybody that texted in, one of you's winning tickets today. We'll see how it goes the rest of the week. Don't worry. I keep track of all your texts. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. What a crazy day. I don't know if we're going to even get into basketball today. Back to our text line. Texter says, Paul, Chad's kid leaves? Wow, right? That was not on my bingo card today. Absolutely not. Was not on my bingo card. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm going to ask the one texter about Coach Huff leaving. Whom are you referring to, sir? I'll leave it at that. You know who you are. Tomorrow on the program, I guess we're going to talk basketball a little bit more. And, of course, we're a few days away from the introductory press conference for Tony Gibson. And we'll find out more about him as the head coach of the Thundering Herd. We'll also try to get him on the show sometime. I'm either hoping Thursday or Friday. And we're going to find out more about what Coach Huff has to say when he is introduced as the new head coach of Southern Miss. So we've got a few things we're lining up for you for the next few days. We've also got basketball midweek on the road, Saturday at home, taking on the Ohio Bobcats. So we'll preview that matchup. We'll hear a little bit from Coach Jackson tomorrow on the game. And, of course, there's a couple of things we got to talk about. One being consistency with shots. I think we got enough time. Coach Huff is gone, so we can put him to bed just for a few days or a few hours. Coach Jackson's still here, and the shot selection's been good. It's been the consistency that has been a problem. And I asked Coach if there's some, what do you do in that situation? What's the answer? And he's looking for a magic wand right now.
If I had that answer. No, we work on it. These guys, they shoot every day. We actually have shooting groups. They shoot the ball well in our shooting groups. Now it's just a matter of carrying it over to games. In games, there's a little bit more pressure than just coming out in the cam and shooting. Even though we do it all the time, we shoot a lot of free throws. We are not shooting free throws today after practice like we normally do. It's just to try to switch it up. But it's just it's a mental toughness thing, right? We have to be mentally tough, especially on the road when you're playing really good opponents, Purdue's, the Western Kentucky's, the UNCW's. When you're playing those really good teams on the road, you have to come with a different type of focus, and your mental toughness has to be strong.
Comments from Coach Jackson. We'll hear more from him tomorrow. Quickly, let's go to X, formerly known as Twitter. Twitter poster says, this is regarding Pennington. Now, this one stuns me. Also from Twitter X, bowl game is looking bad. That's going to do it for this edition. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. I'm also on Blue Sky right now at Paul Swann as well. Don't forget you can listen to the podcast anytime. Go to our webpage, WRBC.com. Also, you can subscribe and have it sent to you. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or just wherever you get your podcasts. That's where we're available. Thanks for tuning in. I want to thank everyone who filled in last week and helped out. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Will we have a football team tomorrow? That's going to be the big question as more names have entered the transfer portal. What's this Thundering Herd team going to look like? Have a great night, everyone. Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.